Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the CBL X's and O's podcast for season 2023. Got Beck McIntyre and the Horsham Hornets joining me today, and we are sitting down to review last weekend's games in the Southwest Conference, and it was a bit of an interesting round.
Yes, it was a very interesting round. There were some unexpected results, that's for sure.
Let's start in the men, and we'll start Saturday when the Horsham Hornets took on the Ararat Redbacks, and looks like they set it all up in the second quarter to get a 12-point win in that game.
Yes, I wasn't there at that game, but it did seem from what everyone was saying a little bit scratchy and probably Horsham didn't play their best basketball, but they managed to get away. So a credit to Ararat though. So, they only won by 12 in the end or whatever it was. 12. So yeah, Ararat have been able to come in front of the Horsham crowd and fight till the end. So yeah, but it looks like it was definitely a bit more closer than what they would have expected.
And in the next game, Portland took on Warrnambool at home, and it was a very close first half. And the third quarter, Portland ran away with the game by the looks of things.
Yeah, look at and obviously we'll get into tomorrow's games later, but the Sunday games. But yeah, Portland have had a ripping weekend. They've come away with 2 from 2. So looks like Hardingham's had a great game again, 25 points. But yeah, look, they've come back with a vengeance. Obviously, after losing the week before to Terang, I think that potentially could have really hurt Portland. I think they ended up with 2 less losses the weekend before. So they've fought back and they've got themselves back in on that ladder.
We did mention it was a big weekend for Portland. They obviously stood to the test of time and got their 2 wins. The other game, or the first game we seen on Sunday, was Hamilton travelled down to Colac to take on the Cookers. And again, this is very similar to what we just said. The first half was a very close game, and then the third quarter, Colac were able to start to break away and turned it into just over a 20-point victory.
Yeah, look, and Colac could be pretty happy with that, obviously finishing out with another win on the board. So, yeah, they'll be excited to be able to get that by 23 points.
And Warrnambool took on Terang, and they, as we mentioned in the preview, they really needed to split the weekend at least 1-1. They were hoping for a 2-0 weekend, but Saturday night's loss, they bounced back Sunday and got a big victory by 30 points against the Terang Tornadoes.
Yeah, looking surprising to me. Like that's a 30-point win by Warrnambool. So I don't think Terang would have been expecting that. Terang come off the weekend before beating Portland. So, some interesting results with this. I wonder if Terang had a few people out or not, because they've definitely been able to get over the line and win some games that we thought that they wouldn't. So that's a big win from Warrnambool, and I'm sure they'll carry that into the new year, being on a bit of a high with that 30-point win there.
And Portland travelled up the highway to take on Horsham. And the first half was Horsham's game, and the second half looked like it was Portland's game, and it all come down to the last couple of seconds from what I'm hearing.
Yes, well, I was fortunate to be commentating our live stream and was able to watch the game quite closely. So, yeah, what actually happened was Portland went into a fantastic zone for the second half of the game, which then really kind of put our offense into a little bit of disarray. So, Horsham weren't able to score, and looking at the last quarter, Portland outscored Horsham by 12 points. So, we just couldn't get anything to finish, even when they got it into the post, and, getting deep post touches hard to be able to defend Cody and Aussie McKenzie in there, but they just couldn't finish around the rim. It literally come down to the last shot of the game. Burns played so well for Portland. I probably thought he was their MVP. Every time it looked like Horsham were going to run away with the game, he just come out, Tom Burns, and he just would shoot a 3 or he'd get a really good steal, and he played really well. But anyway, he had the ball coming down, looking to get off a screen from Hardingham pops, gets the ball, throws it up and gets a 3, and they go up by 1. And then there was a bit of a discussion around how much seconds are left on the clock, and there was maybe 2 seconds. I think they ended up giving them 1.1. So Horsham had a timeout, advanced it, drew up a play, actually managed to get the ball to Cody Bryant above the rim, but he just was unable to finish on a little lip around and flipped out. And they took the game away by 1. So the crowd was up and about, the Portland people. We had Geordie on the live stream commenting. I think there was a big crowd of Portland people watching the live stream. So yeah, obviously wasn't ideal for the Hornets, but regardless of the result, and we would have preferred it to be ours, it was a ripping game to watch for the spectators' perspective. But yeah, look, for Horsham, Cody Bryan was brilliant. Hardingham and Burns were, both very, very good for Portland. So yeah, it ended up being Portland's game. So big win for them.
Let's take a look at the ladder after this round, and it has been shaken up. We've got Mount Gambier sitting on top with a 9-2 record. Second, Horsham dropped to that second spot with a 10-3 record, and then third, fourth, and fifth is so tight. We've got Millicent third, 7-4, Portland fourth, 7-5, and Warrnambool fifth, 7-6. So it's a battle of them three teams pretty much of who's going to take the last two positions. Unfortunately, Terang 5 and 6 sits sixth on the ladder. They still do have 5 games to play, so potentially a few wins go the right way for the Tornadoes, and they could be in that contention and discussion point of making the top 4. Colac sit in 7th with a 5-8 record, and then Ararat 8th, Hamilton 9th. So that's how our ladder sits after this round, and it has shaken up this round, hasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And as we were kind of saying before, depending on wins and losses now, most games have 3 to 4 games left. And, Portland can still end up with 11 wins. Millicent can still end up with 12 wins. Horsham can end up with 13 wins. So, it's all very close. I think Mount Gambier has still got 5 games. So if they win them all, they'll probably sit pretty easily on top with 14 wins. So, yeah, it's going to be very interesting. I think it may even potentially come down to the last round of the competition, which Horsham hosts Millicent at home. And I think depending on whoever wins that game, that might end up with who hosts their home final, finishing second.
And let's move across to the women. And Saturday night, Warrnambool travelled to Portland to take on the Coasters. And this is a cracker game, first versus second, I believe it was. And the Mermaids walked out with a 1-point victory. I know it come down to the final possession. 1.2, 1 second on the clock. Warrnambool had an inbound and they scored from it to win the game. How sensational is that?
Yeah, I think it was a bit controversial too, from what I heard on Sunday, was apparently the person went right back up into the grandstand to make the pass, and there was a little bit of really not sure if that was in the rules or not. So I think it got checked overnight, and apparently it was up to the referee on the day to make the call. But from what I hear, so the person that the Warrnambool girl made the pass from literally the car park and was able to throw it in, and they managed to score on the buzzer again. So, yeah, very interesting. And yeah, just shows you that it is super close in all of the games. And yeah, look, Warrnambool will be very happy with that win, I'd imagine, because I'm pretty sure Portland were hoping to, have that one as a win.
And then on Sunday, Portland travelled across to take on your team, the Horsham Hornets, and they come in and got a 13-point win in the end. And it looks like you didn't have too many players left on the court by the end of the game.
Yeah, look, I think it was goal for goal all game. So I think there was we were only down by 4 points with 4 minutes to go or something. And then unfortunately, when you get left with 2 players on the court, so I think I ended up with 4 out of my 7 fouled out and 1 with a broken finger. So we had 2 left on the court, which probably makes it a little bit hard to be able to play against 5 players. So that was really the only reason that it ended up blowing out to that. But yeah, look, it was a goal for goal game for 40 minutes and very well contested. My girls did really well. Their girls were really good. Like, we were, really, really good. We took a few points in the lead. They took a few points in the lead. So considering the way it ended up, like, we could have easily won the game if we had kept our team on the court. But in the end, Portland, I think, ended up with 2 or 3 people fouled out. There was 64 fouls called, I think, for the whole game or something. So, yeah, so it was a very physical and tightly refereed game. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it just shows you, I think, depending on the day, any of the women's teams can beat each other. It's very, very close, just depending on, logistics of how many people you keep on the court and who's available. So, yeah, look, for us, it puts the pressure on us now to win the next two games that we have, Warrnambool at home and Millicent. So I think we pretty much have to win both of those really to maintain our third or fourth spot. But I don't think we can, having a look at the ladder, can even get to second unless there's some, unheard of kind of results. But yeah, all very, very close again. And yeah, it was another really cracking game. And then we had our people with disabilities come and play in between the men's and women's. That was fantastic. Horsham live streamed it. They absolutely had the time of their lives, and we had heaps and heaps of people there cheering for them. The crowd got involved, and to be honest, that was the highlight for the weekend at Horsham Stadium, was having the AAA basketball there, and just getting them to experience that on the big stage. It put a lot of smiles on a lot of people's faces, and yeah, it slowly made me worry about the fact we lost very quickly. Just go out of my mind just to see them guys out there enjoying themselves.
That's good to hear. Let's have a quick look at the ladder, because Warrnambool's win on Saturday night puts them on the top of the table with a 5-2 record currently. Second is Portland, 6-3. They've only got one game to go this season, and pretty much they win that one and they lock in a top 2 finish. We then got Millicent sitting third with a 4-3 record. Horsham sit fourth with a 4-4 record. Mount Gambier 3-4 fifth, and Colac sit in sixth with a 1-6 record. So it's going to be a bit of a flip of the coin between Millicent, Horsham, and Mount Gambier of who can stay in the 4 and who's going to miss out. But then again, it's also going to come down to who's going to finish third and fourth, which is going to be the difference of whether you have to play potentially Warrnambool or Portland in that game. So it'll be very interesting to see
Absolutely.
how it all unfolds.
And the head to head will come into it, having a look at this quite substantially myself. Millicent have got 2 games, we've got 2 games, so we're going to finish exactly the same. So it will depend on whether we beat them over there. So they would have to come to Horsham and beat us. Otherwise, we would finish third. We've got Mount Gambier on a head to head on both games, so that was lucky for us. So for us, I think we can absolutely lock in, hopefully, a final spot if we can get the 2 wins. But then, Portland only got 1 to go, 7, and then Warrnambool, if they win there, it's going to go 8, 7, 6. So, super close, and some of those games will have made a difference. But again, I think it'll come down to that last game on the 21st of January, where Millicent get to come over to Horsham, both the men and women. So should be a cracking weekend, I anticipate.
It sounds like it's going to be a cracker, and that's it. That's our round 11 review. That's all the games of basketball in the Southwest Conference in 2023. So we will see everyone back in the new year when it ticks over to 2024, and it's come around very quickly. So congratulations to all teams who got the wins on the weekend and defied their ladder a little bit for the season coming. And we just want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a safe and happy New Year. And we'll catch everyone in 2024 when we get to round 12 in the Southwest Conference.